That's true. Chair Woodford. Hi, Jack. We're getting ready to get started. Are you in the building? All right. Well, we're going to get started. I'll have someone at the front door. We're ready to let you in. All right. Bye.
Jared who?
Jack. This is the one you sent me the email on.
Oh, he's a reporter?
Yeah.
Can you guys wait just one more minute? Thanks.
Sorry, park your phone.
Yeah, I know.
So bad. You want me to start without him?
All right. Good evening. We're here to address the tragic death of one Rykelan Brown. We wanted to advise the community that, in cooperation with the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department, the person Onondaga County Child Protective Services, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center, and the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office, we were able to arrest and present a case to the grand jury against Mr. Joshua Emmons. He was indicted for murder in the second degree as well as a manslaughter charge for the death of Rykelan Brown, consisting of brutal assault attack that caused the child's death. This was a case that affected the community greatly. Our office, as well as the department, received a lot of inquiry to tragedy that is Rykelan Brown's death. That insight and push from the community was additional driving force for the diligent, hardworking efforts of all of the members of that multidisciplinary team to make a determination as to what and who caused the death of Rykelan Brown. Unfortunately, our community has suffered many tragic losses when it comes to children that we are all expected to protect and cherish. It gives me great pleasure and honor to say that the members of this multidisciplinary team was able to address that concern of this community. It's able to answer the questions that the community appropriately asked about what happened to Rykelan Brown. So again, I just wanted to address the community and thank all the members of the Sheriff's Department that worked diligently and tirelessly to come up with this result. I'll take any questions regarding this case.
So he was originally charged with manslaughter. Why were the charges up to second-degree murder?
That was a strategic decision by the Sheriff's Department as well as our office as to what to charge with. We ultimately made a determination that we were able to enhance the charges to second degree under the grave indifference statute.
For those who don't know what that statute means, for those that just know that manslaughter generally means like intent, whereas murder means there's intent there. What can you say about that?
So what I can say is for the manslaughter charge, there is a reckless conduct, and with the murder charge, depraved indifference requires conscious disregard of the conduct and to exhibit depraved indifference to human life in regards to some of the intentional actions that were taken that caused the death of the child, specifically in this case, Rykelan Brown.
Given the child died in late May, what was it that took
For us, and I think this is important for the community to understand, that there is a lot of investigatory work that goes into cases like this. For us, 2 months in a child fatality case is actually very quick, and I'm very proud of the investigatory steps that the Sheriff's Department took with our office, because ultimately a case like this is dependent on the information that the medical examiner's office can present. There are medical experts in upstate that we are constantly in communication with, because it is the experts as well as the forensic evidence in the case that really describes what happened and gives us an indication of what occurred. So it is with constant communication that we actually met with, again, the members of the Sheriff's Department, Child Protective, and our office. We met with the medical examiner's office multiple times to discuss and to be educated on what we're actually seeing and what information is needed to make the charges that we have here.
So if a child died because of blunt force trauma to the head, can you give more details about how that happened?
So what we are told from our pathologist and upstate medical team is that the child suffered blunt force trauma either by shaking, striking, or being slammed into another object, causing the subdural hematoma brain injury that ultimately is the cause of his death.
You mentioned Child Protective Services being part of this multidisciplinary team, but was Portland County DSS ever involved, being that they were the ones to place Emmons with Rykelan at the time?
So what I can say is the Cortland County Child Protective Services agency was not involved in the investigation into the fatality of Rykelan Brown. I know that they had a case prior to Joshua, the defendant, being placed as the guardian of Rykelan Brown, but they were not a part of the criminal investigation.
When it comes to Portland County approving that custody, there is public record that doesn't take long to find that Emmons had struck repeatedly another 3-year-old, causing extensive bruising and jail time for it. Are you frustrated that we're standing here today talking about Rykelan's passing, even that this comes off the back of Portland County approving that custody?
What I'll say is I'm frustrated with any child's death and in this kind of circumstance. I mentioned before that the death of Rykelan Brown and the deaths of other children in our community, the hands of others who are supposed to be protecting them, is tragic in and of itself. That is unfortunately the task that the Abused Persons Unit is responsible for, dealing with those cases on a continuous basis. But I guess it would exaggerate that frustration a little bit more, knowing that there was physical abuse in the past. But ultimately, we can't say what information Cortland County had at that time to make the determination. I think ultimately, we are responsible for finding out what happened to Rykelan Brown on that tragic day.
Is your office part of any follow-up into how Cortland County conducted itself?
I can't speak to that right now.
There were other children in the house at the time as well. Were they also abused?
There's no indication right now that there were any other children abused in the home, but obviously, anytime there are other kids in the home where something kind of like this or any type of sexual abuse allegation is being alleged, every child in the home is interviewed to the point where everyone involved in that multidisciplinary team is comfortable with the understanding of what happened.
Okay, so do we know what happened with the children, if they might have been removed from that household or the parent?
Those children have been removed.
Was the 2019 conviction of Emmons, was that found in the county?
That was.
So do you think that there should be maybe that communication between both counties? Make sure that Cortland County had that information, or please vote on that?
I can always say that there can never be too much communication. There's always room for improvement. There's there's always the ability to communicate better. The truth of the matter is that information is accessible countywide. There are multiple agencies that can access that to make that determination about what should or should not happen in a case like this.
And in court before, he used corporal punishment was the way that he disciplined his son. Can you say like what that corporal punishment was?
I can say that, in regards to one of the charges in the indictment, the endangering the welfare of a child, that Rykelan appeared to have suffered other injuries at the hands of Mr. Emmons. There's indications that Rykelan would have been slapped and struck for various reasons, causing some of those injuries and bruises.
Has Emmons, as this investigation has gone on, or has your team uncovered what led to the moment that Emmons killed Rykelan? Was it him attempting to punish the child for something? What was the inciting incident?
There's multiple theories on that. Some that I'm not ready to disclose at this point.
Sheriff, for your office, just to come back around to the 2019 conviction, what's going through your head, given that we're standing here talking about a dead 4-year-old child when the father that took custody of him had this prior conviction?
As a parent and just a person in general, it brings anger anytime we're supposed to protect our youth. And we failed in this one. And it brings, it shocks the conscience, and it brings anger. Our detectives did a great job. This happened on Memorial Day weekend. We didn't get involved until 36 hours into the case. And just, I can't speak enough for the great work my people are doing, working through that anger and working through a dead 4-year-old.
Is your office talking to Brooklyn County DSS?
Not sure.
Records will be provided if they're requested.
So the child was on life support for about 3 days before he passed. And I believe the foster parent said that he donated organs, so he was taken off life support. Do you know who had the power of attorney to make that decision?
I'm not sure.
Not sure at this time who would actually made that call.
Did the mother have joint custody or visitation rights with her son?
She did not have joint custody, but she had the ability to have visitation with Rykelan.
You mentioned that those records were pretty much public and accessible countywide. So is it at all possible that Cortland County did not have access to seeing Emmons' past criminal history?
It's possible that they did not see it. I don't believe it's fair to say it's possible that they did not have access to it.
Were there any witnesses to this crime happening to a child?
There was no witness inside the home when these fatal injuries occurred. Rykelan, our theory is that Rykelan was in sole care and custody of the defendant Joshua Emmons when he suffered these injuries.
Was there another adult living in the home?
There was.
Is she being looked at all?
She is not.
Will Emmons be here making any other further public appearances at the grand jury?
We do not have an arraignment date for him yet. That will be his first appearance, the arraignment on this indictment. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.